Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 20th, 2020 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am your host, Mikey B, WWE. And tonight's podcast will be featuring and discussing the WWE's pay-per-view for this evening, TLC, which of course stands for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. This is the final pay-per-view of the 2020 calendar year, but more importantly for WWE fans, this is right around the time of the year when the proper build-up to WrestleMania is beginning. I would say, I guess, officially it begins at the Royal Rumble event next month, which is pretty much my favorite event and match of the whole calendar year. We get a lot of answers, and it fills in the picture a lot more after the Rumble at the end of January. But you know what? I think TLC here for this evening's card is going to give us a few indications of some possibilities heading into WrestleMania season. So on tonight's card, on WWE.com website, I looked last night, Saturday night, and I also am on here right now as it's Sunday morning. And the WWE has listed 6 matches on their match card, and which they've been doing in recent months. They said the WWE TLC card announced, and then in brackets, so far. So I don't know. I'm not sure why they can't get their program together. Even on the day of that they can post publicly, but all I can do is give the predictions for the matches which are stated. And so far, when I give my predictions for matches, I generally only keep the ones that wind up appearing on the main card when the event takes place. Those are the ones that I factor into my prediction rate. Which is I'll still apply that rule, but that's something I'm probably going to be changing in my upcoming season. But that said, on tonight's card, we have 6 matches listed on the TLC pay-per-view for this evening. The first of the 6 matches is for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and it's the champions, the team The New Day, taking on the team of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business. This is one of these the matchups that's going to occur tonight that I feel will build over, or it'll carry over next month into Royal Rumble. There are several here that I foresee that being a strong likelihood. Not to say that if not any of these will last towards Mania, but I think a lot of these have the legs to go not only this month but into Royal Rumble. So and this is one of those ones that I do feel that way. Even though I think if the company is going to do the smart thing and make the Hurt Business as a faction appear much more strong, the best way to do that, of course, is by getting championships for lots of your guys. Bobby Lashley, of course, is their big muscle, and he has the United States Championship currently. He's been the title holder for many months now. And while I think Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander will win these belts shortly, I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I think that the New Day will retain, but I foresee some kind of a, it's going to be a questionable finish. I think there's going to be some controversy, which will MVP the Hurt Business. They're going to be enraged, and they're going to demand a rematch, which I think Benjamin and Alexander, they would win upon that. So this is one where I don't think we're going to see a title change yet, but I think it is imminent. So for this one, I predict the New Day will retain the Raw Tag Team Championship belts. Moving on to the second match, also for a Tag Team Championships. It's for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And this match features the champions, the team of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, taking on Asuka and a partner of her choosing. In recent episodes on Monday Night Raw, Asuka has had Lana as her teammate, but Jackson Baszler took her out a little while ago. So I guess that's the big question. Who's Asuka going to ask? For those who might be wondering if it's her old Kabuki Warriors teammate, Kairi Sane, I would like to mention that Kairi Sane is no longer a current performer on the WWE roster. So I think we can effectively rule her out. And the person that to me makes the very most sense, and this is one actually I think could have the legs to build all the way to WrestleMania. You'll have to hear me out on this, but who I think we're going to see is the return of course, the much decorated, much ballyhooed Charlotte Flair. Now, and not only do I think Charlotte Flair is going to return tonight, I think she's going to help. Her and Asuka will win these tag team championships, and why I think this has the legs to WrestleMania is because these two squared off in a wonderful WrestleMania matchup a few years ago, with Charlotte Flair getting the victory over Asuka when Asuka was red hot, undefeated on the main roster. She was a force, and Charlotte Flair, they gave her the victory over Asuka at that WrestleMania a few years ago. I think what we can see happening here is Asuka and Charlotte Flair, the team of them, would win these belts tonight. They would probably have some successful defenses of this belt, and possibly next month lose them at Royal Rumble, causing issues with them and beginning the feud towards them for WrestleMania. Because we should also keep in mind that Asuka, even though she's competing in a women's tag team championship match this evening, she is the Raw Women's Champion. So she already holds that top title. And to me, this just makes so much sense that they would pair them together, have them win the belts, then lose the belts, and then begin a feud for them, the two of them, for WrestleMania, all the way to WrestleMania. I think it's perfect. We can also, Becky Lynch, for those who might be wondering if she, might return, she's definitely not returning yet. I'm not even sure if she's had her child with Seth Rollins yet in real life. So, regardless, she's not returning to wrestling just yet. That's for sure. So this makes perfect sense, though, having Asuka and Charlotte Flair pairing up and winning these belts. And I do suspect this may be one of, if not the only, title changes we're going to see tonight. So for this match, my prediction is Asuka and partner of her choosing. I guess for the sake of my prediction, since Charlotte Flair is not officially named, I'm going to say that Asuka and partner of her choosing will win the women's tag team championships tonight. But to me, it makes all the sense in the world for that partner of her choosing to be Charlotte Flair. But for prediction count purposes, Asuka and her partner of choosing is my choice for winning the WWE women's tag team belts. Moving on to the third of the 6 matches listed on the website. It's the Firefly Inferno match with the Fiend Bray Wyatt taking on Randy Orton. This is a feud we've seen before, but not when Bray Wyatt's been the Fiend character. This is one certainly that could carry on a little bit, but I don't think it has the legs to go all the way to WrestleMania. At least I kind of hope not, because as WWE fans, we've seen these two fight and have stories and feuds together many times before. So I don't foresee this lasting very long. Maybe carry over into next month in Royal Rumble. But regardless, when the match is called a Firefly Inferno match, which is the first of its kind, I'm definitely erring on the side of the Fiend Bray Wyatt being victorious in this. If he loses this, this is going to make him look very weak, which would be a very foolish move by WWE Creative. So my pick for the Firefly Inferno match, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Moving on to the 4th match of the night. It's for the SmackDown Women's Championship, with champion Sasha Banks taking on Carmella. This is a feud that's been red hot in recent weeks. I certainly suspect that Carmella will win this belt in due time. And when I say in due time, I mean soon. But I don't think it's going to happen tonight. Sasha Banks won this belt not long ago. She's a solid champion, solid performer. But this feud is really good. I think this will 100% will carry over from TLC into Royal Rumble. And it might even carry all the way to WrestleMania, depending on how they build this feud between these two. But and I think the best way to prolong any feud like this is having belt changes and things like that. So I do think Carmella is going to win the belt very soon, but I do not think that's tonight. I think Sasha Banks will find a way to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship tonight. So Sasha Banks is my choice for that match. Moving on to the fifth match of the night, it's for the Universal Championship, and it is a tables, ladders, and chairs match featuring the champion Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, taking on Kevin Owens. As a side note, before I get into the prediction of this match, I really miss the days in the WWE when matches like tables, ladders, and chairs or Hell in a Cell matches, they weren't devoted to a specific pay-per-view. They were devoted to the culmination of an excellent feud that I guess required the requisite amount of destruction that these kind of matchups bring. Because then it felt right. It doesn't feel right to force, I guess Hell in a Cell's on the calendar. We have to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches, regardless of how good the feud's been. That's not organic to me for wrestling storytelling, nor is, because it's the tables and ladders and chairs pay-per-view tonight, to force these kinds of matches. I see that because they're good gimmick matches that, hey, let's build an entire pay-per-view around it. But if it were up to me, I would not make entire pay-per-views for those kinds of matches. Reserve them like you did in the past for incredible feuds that require such a culmination. Anyways, now that I've got that off my chest, back to the match at hand. So Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, taking on Kevin Owens in the TLC match. Roman Reigns, ever since he's turned heel, has been red hot. He's been using dirty tactics, been using his cousin Jey Uso, and while I love Kevin Owens, excellent performer, excellent on the mic, great wrestler, I personally would like to see him win some more championships in the coming year. But that said, that's not happening tonight. There's no way that the WWE, as far as I'm concerned, is going to have Roman Reigns lose tonight. And I suspect he will probably hold the belt all the way to WrestleMania, if not longer. It's been no secret for many years since Roman Reigns has been one of the main figureheads of this company, one of the main poster boys. They want him to be a top champion most of the time if he's healthy and around. So, and right now on the cusp of Royal Rumble and WrestleMania around the corner, and with him having had his heel turn since he returned at SummerSlam and shortly thereafter, they're going to run with this definitely longer, which is unfortunate for Kevin Owens because he's such a great wrestler and a deserving champion. And I hope that perhaps this feud will carry out significantly longer. I think it will definitely carry to Royal Rumble because with a TLC match, we're bound to have some kind of a questionable, controversial finish tonight. But I still don't see Roman Reigns likely losing this Universal Championship until WrestleMania at the earliest. So Roman Reigns is definitely my pick to retain Universal Championship tonight. Now, moving on to the final match of the night for the WWE Championship. Once again, another tables, ladders, and chairs match with the champion Drew McIntyre taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. On paper, a great matchup between two really top-notch wrestlers. Again, tables, ladders, and chairs matches. I don't know. The fact that we already have one on the card and we're going to have another one, how special or memorable is this going to be? I say not very. But these two, of course, have the wrestling chops to really make, a quality match out of anything. So I think this is going to be a good match, and this is one I definitely feel will this program, this feud between these two is just getting started, much like many of the rest on this card. I don't see Drew McIntyre dropping the belt. He's only dropped it once since he won all the way back at WrestleMania earlier this year, since he beat Brock Lesnar for it. He only lost once to Randy Orton, sorry, and then in shortly won it back. So to me, I don't see him losing it yet. Could, if they do the right thing and make this feud, they draw it out. AJ Styles will definitely win at some point in the coming months, but for now, I don't see that happening yet. This is their first pay-per-view big match together for a belt, for a top title, so no, that's not happening. As far as I see, I think Drew McIntyre will retain the WWE Championship, and thus is my pick for this particular match. So to recap, who I say is will come out on top tonight of the 6 matches, we have the New Day, we have Asuka and partner of her choosing, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Sasha Banks, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre. So there you have it, folks. Those are my predictions for tonight's pay-per-view. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel below if you liked what you heard. And hopefully this will be an entertaining pay-per-view tonight. And otherwise, we got, one of the best ones coming up next month, the Royal Rumble. So, it should be hopefully entertaining. We'll hopefully see some interesting twists and turns. So thanks very much for listening, and see you next time.